All right, and here is the sixth grade review for Friday's quiz that will be over the early humans. And the big focus we're going to talk about is how did the early humans live and what technology did they use? Thursday in class, we'll work on your three paragraphs where you're comparing how they lived, what technologies they use compared to how we live and what technologies we use today. As we work, we'll be using the textbooks Thursday in class so we can dig a little bit deeper and get a little bit more of those vocab and details. But if you watch this either Wednesday night or Thursday night as a review, it'll be a great help for you. Okay, if you want to navigate through the online text on your own, either Wednesday night or Thursday night, here's the site you want to go to. You want to go to connected.mcgrawhill.com. If you don't have a chance to do that, don't worry. Thursday we'll be using the text in class. You'll be able to reference or have an idea Thursday in class of kind of what's going on. And as I said, our big topic is what were the tools that were used or the technology that was used, and how did these people live? Did they develop great cities, the early humans? Were they nomadic? Were they hunters and gatherers? Topics like that. I'm going to also show you some generic usernames and logins you can use in just a second. Okay, you can try these generic usernames and logins for the McGraw-Hill online text. If one doesn't work, there's a possibility that 3 or 4 people have already logged in using that one, so you may need to try a second or a third. And now if 3 of them don't work, please come let me know either Thursday morning or Friday morning, and I will be glad to help you get access to this. All right, so when you do go to connected.mcgrawhill.com, you'll see the username. Please apply one of those from the previous screen, and the password. Make sure they match. All caps, all lowercase does make a difference. All right, when you do get there, you're going to see this page. It'll tell you that you're logged in. Up at the top right-hand corner, it will be that generic username and login. When you're accessing the online text, you want to find the correct chapter that we're in, Chapter 3, Early Humans in the Agricultural Revolution. And let's start with Lesson 1 on hunter-gatherers. You'll see some of the same information that we've been looking at this week as you've been studying the hunter-gatherers. Now, Thursday in class, we're going to really use the textbook exclusively to help you put together your 3 paragraphs. Things that we're going to look for is to make sure that you're understanding how these people lived, the early humans. What was life like for them? For example, one term that we talked about on Tuesday, nomadic. Okay, so that may be something that would be hint, 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 a great test type question. What does nomadic mean? What does it mean to be a nomad? How did they find food? Well, they hunted large animals, and a lot of you have made those comparisons and talked about that on your boards as you work through the board activities here in class. As you progress through, other topics that we may talk about tomorrow would be technology. What did these people use as technology? What did they do? And you remember in your 3 paragraph exercise that we're working on this week, you're comparing their technology to our technology. So as we spend time tomorrow using the text, I want you to keep some of these key concepts in mind. We'll do a short review at the end of class to make sure everybody's kind of up to speed. Again, if you don't get to use the online text at home, it's not a big deal. We will be using it in class. Fire. We're going to talk tomorrow about the importance of fire. Could be a concept that comes back up on a quiz on Friday. So again, the big main themes we're looking for Friday, just kind of a review of the whole week. The big main themes we're looking for. How did the early humans live? And how did technology impact their lives? And technology may be simple, like this axe with a rock and basically a stick or a animal bone attached to it. Technology may be simple, like the use of fire in their civilization and their society. If you'd like to use another resource, I'd recommend going to ortn.discoveryeducation.com and log it in just like that Don't Google search it. If you have the web browser app.ortn, sometimes it will not access it. Please just type it directly in as you see it. And once you type it in on your home device, save it as a favorite. If you don't know how to do that, we'll talk about that a little bit in class tomorrow. Use your Skyward login and password. Remember, your Skyward login is case sensitive. So if it's all caps, make it all caps. If it's all lowercase, make it all lowercase. And your password is a 6-digit code. All right, so when I log in, actually, for some of you, you may see this page, which is the U.S. history page. Just come over here on switch course. Click on world history, prehistory. Sometimes they're preloaded, take you to that first book. But when I go to world history, prehistory, I'll notice that the first chapter is about human origins. That's what we want to talk about. So we're going to click on human origins. We're going to click on the rise of the humans. Now yours may look a little bit different because this is the teacher edition. And it may very well look a little different. That's okay. But you'll see on yours engage, explore, explain, elaborate, evaluate. The 5 E's as they're described. You can kind of just look through chapter 1 here. You can go through each of the resources. It's a great video here about bog mummies and what they are. It tells you about anthropologists and what they do. We can dig a little bit into the different tools that we've uncovered as we studied early humans. What their technology was like, that's a big focus. What their culture was like. So again, on Friday you'll have a short quiz over the rise of humans or the early humans. We'll be focusing on how they lived and what technology they used. Also, in class tomorrow on Thursday, we will use the textbook in class for the majority of class. We will get your 3 paragraphs hopefully completed. Again, looking for that evidence, looking for those details about these early humans. And then have that hopefully wrapped up by the end of class Thursday. All right, hope you have a great evening, and make sure you're checking this out at least Thursday night, if not tonight and Thursday night.